SteelMint events. I'm Ruchira Singh, and joining me today is Mr. Dilip Oommen, CEO of ArcelorMittal Nippon Steel India Limited. The topic of today's discussion is the coronavirus pandemic, and we take a close look at how this company is managing its plant, its people, and its business. Mr. Oommen, thank you very much for joining us today and welcome to our show.
Thank you, Ruchira. It's my pleasure.
To start off, please tell us what's happening on the ground at all your plants. What kind of a production cut have you had to make?
In all the locations where we operate, heeding to the Prime Minister's clarion call, we have cut down on production. Our first priority was ensuring the health, safety, and well-being of our people, and which includes associates, our employees, family members, associates, family members, and therefore, whatever we could manage, maintaining the social distancing, we have done. We have cut down our production in all locations.
So at the plants, at your pellet plants and the steel plant, what is the quantum of the production cut at the moment?
It depends, it depends on the location, it depends on the product. Pellet plants are at higher production levels. Hazira being the steel plant, it is lower.
So for pellets is not minimum. The steel plant has been cut down to a minimum. However, pellets is at a reasonably high level of production.
The pellet production is at a higher level, but steel plant we have cut down.
Right. So earlier on, you had indicated that you would be aiming to scale up production to a level of about 8.4 million tons. So do you think this target still looks achievable, knowing that we are just about at the beginning of the fiscal year?
See, first and foremost, last year was last fiscal, that is FY20, was a record production year. The production was 7.23 million tons of crude steel, and also there was a jump in EBITDA of over 40% as compared to the previous fiscal. So keeping that in mind, we are progressing along well, and then comes along the pandemic. It has put a break in our progress, but nevertheless, we shall regain the lost momentum as soon as we can.
So the Steel Minister has indicated that he wants steel plants to produce well and to sell overseas well, from what we have heard. So what would give you the signal that you should start scaling up the production in the weeks ahead as the lockdown is perhaps scaled down?
See, there is no point producing to stock. The consumption has to pick up both domestically and globally. So we are not of the school of thought. We don't subscribe to the school of thought that keep producing and keep to stock. We don't follow that model. Obviously, our marketing and sales people will have to work hard to find markets, both domestically and whatever surplus is there globally, export market. But all that I would say is that it depends on the recovery, both in India and outside India. This will determine what is the ramp up that we propose to have.
So some of the large integrated players we've been talking to say that this is the right time for India to make deeper inroads into the foreign markets. So do you believe this is achievable, and what are your own plans for exporting both steel as well as pellets and perhaps other products, which could be pig iron and other products that are semi-finished steel?
Certainly, we are in the market for pellets. As far as everything has to be done at the right price, everything should make commercial value. It should not be that also that we dump so much in a particular location, particular geography globally, and bring down the prices beyond sustainable levels. It's already happening. And, I think good sense should prevail. And yes, exports are required, but let us all do it sensibly.
Right.
Not do it at the cost of ruining the market.
So from the intelligence SteelMint has gathered, it seems that China is wolfing down steel, and even the semi-finished steel. It is buying a lot at this time. So is that also your experience? Is this a one big gigantic consumer right now? And what are they doing with it? Are they building inventories at low costs?
See, this semi-finished steel, as I understand, immediately after the lockdown started being lifted in various geographies of China, yes, there was a demand for semi-finished. But as I understand, it's gradually waning. And okay, even the demand for pellets, though much higher in other geographies, but that is also waning. I mean, obviously, it depends on how much of it they are able to consume. It's not that they will also keep building up stock. And as I understand, China, its exports, it was exporting to a large extent, but even at the present price levels, even they have started to hesitate.
So some of the prices that we were hearing of at SteelMint, we heard that deals are being done in the foreign markets at the rate of $400 to $405 CFR. A cargoes destined to Vietnam. And in fact, we heard of some other numbers. We heard of $380 CFR cargoes heading to China. This is all hot rolled coils. So these levels, do you think it's sustainable, or do you see a further fall?
I was talking about these levels. Not the former level was somewhat better, but the second number is also correct. So I don't know how far this will continue. Maybe initial panic, but I think it should start moving up.
So that would seem to suggest that these are really this could be the bottom, and from here below this level, it will be difficult to export.
See, the point is, it's a question of supply and demand. Now, you keep on producing to stock, and then there is no demand domestically because logistics are not operational, or it's started operating, but customers have not opened up. They are not taking material. Exports is what it is. The prices are so low. But yes, eventually, when people are not able to sell in the domestic market, they will export. And only time will tell what impact it will have on the prices. Because it's a catch-22 situation. If you do not produce, your fixed costs go through the roof. If you overproduce, then it drives down the prices. You'll have to strike a balance. And obviously, a few I don't know whether I can just, maybe your future questions would have got this answer from me, but we will be looking for some help from the government. Even under the present pandemic conditions, crisis conditions, the government, I must say, has done a lot to help the steel industry. Whatever proposals that we and the steel ministry has been in constant touch with the captains of the industry. So, and lot of what we have asked, they have been in a, but one I find it requires a lot of focus is China has also accumulated a lot of stock, and India has also accumulated stock. So the least that can happen, two things. One is there must be strong trade barriers so that imports are not coming in. There is no dumping of steel in India. And secondly, we must look at healthy export incentive so that we are able to compete better in today's crisis conditions. If you look, China has increased their export incentive by about 3%. The government certainly needs to look at how to improve the export incentive by at least 6-7%, and put trade barriers so that we are able to restrict, especially the dumping of steel in India.
The government does manage to give you a really good export incentive. How much of both steel and pellets do you think you could export during this fiscal year?
See, it's a dynamic balance between domestic and exports. We certainly are, especially at the M&S, our first priority is the domestic market. If there is not enough demand, then we will look at exports. I mean, we have always been in the market to the extent of about 20%. That is a reasonable level. We'll maintain that. But in any case, it should make commercial sense.
Right. So 20% of what you produce might be exported.
And traditionally we have been doing around that, maybe a little more, but that certainly will continue.
Right. So looking at your product mix, you primarily make flat steel. So is there any thinking at this point on how this can be maybe tweaked into making other kind of products, knowing that the auto industry will take its time to recover? So any thoughts over there?
Yes. We think that, I don't know whether we can, auto industry, passenger car industry, yes. The passenger, discretionary spends have already started seeing a big slump, and it may not recover so quickly. But then the yellow goods segment will probably start seeing an improvement, provided the focus on the emphasis on infrastructure spend goes up. And the government has been promising that. So we are expecting more spend in the infrastructure space, which will lead to higher requirement of steel for yellow goods.
Right. And just briefly taking you back to the export market, since everyone is talking about it at this point, Do you think there'll be a good scope to export all kinds of products, such as billets, pig iron, pellets, of course, you mentioned, along with this finished steel product? So, any change in the mix that you foresee, or do you think it might be all of steel products being exported in however good or bad the export market is at this point?
See, one thing this pandemic has done is there will be a shift in the product mix, at least in the foreseeable future. So even in the products, there will be, finished goods. Even in the finished goods, there will be a change in the product mix. But apart from that, we'll see increased amount of semi-finished being sold, semi-finished products being sold in the market, which includes obviously billets, pig iron, billets, maybe slabs.
And looking at the overall sector, for all of this fiscal year, and speaking about the entire industry, what is a good outlook that you people are working on to see a demand recovery for all of the consuming sectors? So auto, construction, white goods, of course, you were talking about it. So do you see some kind of a good recovery, at least later this year?
See, absolutely, but the next 2-3 weeks, we'll come to know better what is the trajectory of the recovery. Recovery will take place, that is for sure, but how fast, is it going to be shallow V? Is it going to be quite a steep V? Is it going to be U-shaped recovery? Is it going to be L-shaped recovery? Time will tell. But hopefully between a shallow V and a U, maybe more realistic to assume at this point of time those types of recovery.
At your own growth plans, what kind of synergies do you expect from your foreign partner, Nippon Steel? Are they going to initiate some kind of a product mix change, or any kind of expansion, brownfield, greenfield? What kind of a future plan do you have for growing your business?
See, in any case, even before this joint venture, the quality from Essar Steel was already one of our USPs was quality. Now with this joint venture between ArcelorMittal and Nippon Steel, I mean, between these two giants, they produce more than 8% of world steel, and they have such high technology prowess. So one thing is that we'll be the quality standards will certainly ramp up to the best that's available in the world. The product portfolio will enlarge to certainly substitute all the imports that are happening, and certainly we'll come up with future-looking products. Products that the customers will require a few years down the line.
All in all, let's say 5 years from now, what will ArcelorMittal Nippon Steel India look like? What kind of a position might it have in the domestic market and the foreign markets?
Ruchira, good question. We have a plan, but unfortunately at this point of time, we cannot discuss this. But we do have a plan. And at an appropriate time, we will announce.
You have been active in the Orissa government's mining auction program, and you have also bagged one particular mine, Thakurani Mines. So can you please tell us what's happening at the ground level here? How has the transition been from the old owner to yourselves? Have you got all your papers in place? So your lease and your environment clearance and your forest clearance, has that all come on board? And are you producing as of now?
See, this with COVID, there has been an interruption, and we probably a couple of weeks delay. But we have two mines. One was Sagasai, and one is Thakurani. We have an excellent relationship with the previous owner, and we do not foresee any problems going forward. And in any case, the government has taken steps with automatic renewals. We don't anticipate any problems.
So as of today, as of now, is the mining going on over there in that mine, and are you able to move the material out?
We will shortly start. But yes, whatever is the old material will be there. But we will be starting shortly.
And is it a lot of old material? Is the old owner happy to take it away quickly, or is there some kind of a deal wherein you buy that material and keep it there for your needs?
Well, obviously, we will have the first preference. First right of refusal will be with us.
Big quantum of stocks lying at this particular mine?
Not as much as many others.
So you also have a block called Ghora Burani. What is your program for turning it into a mine? Are you going to work on its development soon?
That's Sagasai. That is the mine that I was talking about.
I see. It's the same name.
Yes, Sagasai. That is the mine that we already have. It's a virgin mine. So we are waiting for the final clearances to come in. We should be starting there as well.
Right, Mr. Oommen. Is there anything else you'd like to add that I might have missed asking you?
Ruchira, I'm not able to hear you.
I wanted to know if there's anything else you might want to add to this interview that I might have missed asking you.
See, what I can also say is that we are supporting the government shoulder to shoulder in fighting this COVID-19 pandemic. We have, as you are aware, along with HMEL, AMNS has already committed to contributing 100 crores to PM CARES Fund. Apart from that, we are doing so much of CSR work in all the areas where we operate. We are providing meals to the needy. I think by now over 300,000 meals have been provided, and the count is still on, and it's increasing by the day. We have been providing PPE not only to our employees, associates, family members, the surrounding communities, the health services personnel, the police forces. I mean, we have extended the help and support in all the locations, not only in Gujarat, but in Vizag, in Orissa, in Pune, everywhere, service center areas, we have been doing whatever we can by extending, help by way of PPs, food, sanitation kits, imparting knowledge of social distancing norms to the people. And we have created isolation wards for the people in many areas. So it goes on and on. We are making our contribution count in this fight of the government and the citizens of India against COVID-19.
Mr. Oommen, thank you very much for your time today and wish you all the best for all of your work and your operations.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to tell the viewers that there's a lot more coming by way of podcasts and webinars from SteelMint events. So do look out for all of those. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.